All right, there we go. We are live. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fellow comic book collaborators. This is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics, and I had not, well, it's not even my own idea. I am subscribed to a channel. His name is Daniel C. Daniel, when and if you watch this video, whether you watch it live or later, if you want to put a link to your channel, please do. But he did a video just showing some random comics in his collection. He said he got that idea from Alex the Comic Hoarder, also another person I am subscribed to, and a great person and a great channel, where they basically just got some random comics and they showed them off. Now, I have plenty of comics I can do some unboxings with, but I thought that was a cool idea, so I thought I would share some of my graded comics. Now, I wrote a random box of CGCs. There's some CGCs, there's some PGX, a little bit of both. There might even be some CBCS. I just thought it would be a lot quicker to write one instead of all of them. I'm sure most of you will understand. But I have several boxes of my graded books, and as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to be getting 4 of my comics that I sent in from PGX back, and then Wednesday I'm going to be getting the ones from last month. So they're actually catching up, so they're still in business, guys. They're still operating. So if you want to send some books into PGX, if you want to use them, I have some special codes in the description, and I got that video coming sometime tomorrow. I don't know the exact time, so I'll put a basic time, but it'll probably be tomorrow after about 5 p.m., but it might be earlier or later depending on the postal service. Well, actually, it's Federal Express. So let me just share the link, and then I'm going to say hello to everybody that is here already. Don't forget to wait until the end if you want to be surprised. The surprise subscriber shout out. Don't forget, before you leave, if you enjoy these things, to give it a thumbs up if you like it. But the links that I provide in the live chat and in the description, they are for the link to my website. If you're interested in any of my comic books that I'm selling, obviously I'm not selling them all. I have a video that I made about 2 weeks ago. Some of those are not there, so you can contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. And the other link in that is the cashback program. Sign up for it if you haven't already. It's free to do. If you use that anytime you purchase the qualifying things on that site, you get a $25. If you spend $25 or more within the first 90 days, you get a $10 additional cash back on top of whatever the cashback percentage is, and I get a one-time fee. So let's say hello to some people, and then we'll put on the video camera. Back issue bin, you are first today. He was yesterday's surprise subscriber shout out, which means if you stay until the end, and the more conversations you have in the live chat, the more likely I will see it and give you the shout out. So if you want one, when it gets close to that time, write in capital letters that you want a shout out, but don't do it now because I probably won't remember or see it. So Jerry P, your second, welcome. Florence, one of my moderators. Herbert is here. Jerry says he wants to do a long, open comic discussion soon. We will do that again, don't you worry. Rush is here. Nam Loco. Ken Does Stuff. I love some of these names. Comic Mike is here. And, of course, it just shot up, so forgive me. There's a lot of people that are commenting. So let me... Rodolfo, Richie, Nikki, Paul, Superior Hero, Giuseppe. I think I said Noah, but just in case... Manny the Comic Collector, good to see you. Christian is here. Nikki says, I need some old keys. Well, keys for what? I'm assuming comic books, but that could be a key to your old comic, to your old house. Who knows? Spider Ghost Rider is here. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Troy, Comic Book Flipping. Mark, Douglas, Sam, Chris, Comic Collector, Myth Lab Music, Zocal77, Johnny Collect What, Mythic Lab, Grandmaster, Ken Does Stuff, already said, Christopher Briggs, the Ghost Rider, love these names, and many more. So if I haven't gotten to you yet, you may get it at the end, and that sounded really bad, so if you watch this whole video from beginning to end, you're going to put that one in the comments section, and remember, rated PG. So let me put the video camera on. So I got a box here. It's a short box that is filled with graded comics. I probably have about 10 to 12 of those. And no, these are not my best ones that I have. That's a whole nother one, because I figure most people, and I think I've already done that before, my top comics. So these are mid-range kind of graded comics. So some of them will have the price. Some of them I bought a while ago, and I did not write down the prices. So forgive me if I don't mention the price, but anyone that does, I will always mention what I paid for it, because that gives people a general idea. Now keep in mind, I always get deals, and I always tell people, wait for deals. try and make them, but also some of these books I bought a couple years ago, so those prices may not be always available, but that doesn't mean you cannot get them, so never be discouraged. If you watch my channel, you know all the time that I get deals on even very expensive, very desirable, very rare, very key issues, and pay way under what the current values are, so never give up hope. Pages, Films, and Plastics says, hello, Chris, how are you? I'm doing well. Hopefully you are doing well as well. There's a lot of wells in that. All right, so I'm going to go from the back to the front, so they'll get better as they go. These are my mid-tier comics, all graded, and here we go. So they're just random. There's nothing that is specific. All right, so the first one we got here is Flash number 110. This is the first appearance of Kid Flash. This is one that I recently got back graded a couple of weeks ago. This came back a 3.5. I paid, with shipping and handling, $295, and that's either 98 cents or 78 cents. Doesn't really make a big deal. But this is definitely a key book to have. This is a Silver Age book from 1960, off-white to white pages. So I always tell people, memorize these covers, because I'm very visually oriented. So when I see on a list of somebody, but just maybe a newly listed item, as soon as I see the cover, I pretty much know if it's a significant book. Now, I don't know every book, but that's why it pays to research. So Flash 110, first appearance of Kid Flash. I almost said Clid Flash. Definitely a book to add to your collection. This is a good time to get it, because there's no movie deals with Kid Flash right now. Whether that's good or bad, I will leave that up to you. All right, next up, I have two of these. This is definitely another book I've recommended for a long time. It's a lower grade, but that's all right. This is Ultimate Fallout 4. This is the, I believe it's a 1 in 25 variant. Absolutely love this cover. It is such, I love beautiful painted artwork. I'm not even going to attempt to try and pronounce that name, but it is a connecting variant. This is the first appearance of Miles Morales. That's a book I've been telling people to get for the longest time. Now, this one's a lot more expensive, so if you could find the variant, grab this. Now, this only came back, it's one I bought raw. Came back in 9.0, but I only spent $108.25. That's about the cost of the regular bagged first print of this book. So, again, I can't complain about that, but this is a book that I highly recommend. They're having another Into the Spider-Verse movie coming soon. And it's just going to continue. This is basically, Miles Morales is the Millennial and the Generation Z's version of Spider-Man. It's their Spider-Man. So they may not relate to Peter Parker like we will as much. I cannot stress enough that even if the prices are a little bit lower than they seem right now, or you may think they're overpriced, I'll leave that up to you. Definitely a book that's got so much potential in the future. So please do not underestimate the value of those books. All right, next up, because we got a bunch to go. So this is going to be a long video. This is going to separate the power viewers to the occasional just watcher. So let's see your ultimate power and power viewership. All right, next up, this is one I have several copies of. This is one I cannot stress enough. It is one of the most undervalued Bronze Age books, in my opinion, out there right now. This is Hulk 180. This is the first cameo appearance of Wolverine. Make sure you know it has the Marvel stamp. If you don't know what the Marvel stamps are, I have a video about that. Go to my playlist under tips and advice. This is a CGC book. I bought this one already graded a 6.0. I bought this about 3 or 4 years ago. So I only spent $192.82 for this book. That is a pretty darn good deal for a 6.0 with a book with a character that's his first appearance, even though it's the last panel, of a character that everybody is dying to hear the announcements for. So that book is only going to go up. All right, so this is another book I got graded myself. It's a Golden Age book. Absolutely love it. Came out in 1949. I always tell people, if you're going to send your books, whether you get them sent to PGX, CGC, CBCS, or any other company, make sure you get them pressed and dry cleaned. Unless it's something that's brand new, the chances are it's not going to improve it. But it can dramatically increase your grades, which mean more value to your books. But this is Archie's pal Jughead. This is issue number 1. I think, yes, this is the first appearance of the character Moose. He's the jock of the group. I think he had, like, blonde hair. He kind of looked all buffed out. He's not on the cover. But this is a great book. It came back a 3.0 with off-white to white pages, which for a book from 1949, that's pretty amazing. Now, it does have tape on it. I knew that when I bought it, but that's okay. They're very lenient when it comes to Golden Age books. I spent $302 for this, and definitely a book. Love the date stamp. There's something about those date stamps on the older books that just makes it very nostalgic to me, so I don't mind them at all, especially when they're not handwritten. You know, every now and then they use a pencil or a grease pen. I don't mind those really either. This is another book I bought a couple years ago. It's another Golden Age book. I bought this one already graded. This is Superman, issue number 25. It is when Clark Kent joins the Army. So nothing majorly significant. But this came back, well, not came back. I bought it a 7.0. I'll show you the back. Still has the coupons and everything. This is a great book. Now, I used my eBay bucks to make this purchase, so I got a big discount. So the amount that it cost me, because eBay bucks, you can't count that as a pay, as money, because they're taking it off what you were supposed to pay. So after my eBay bucks, I only paid $388 for this book. So this book came out in 1943, light tanned off-white pages. Absolutely love early Golden Age books. If you don't own one, I highly recommend getting one, but be warned, they will be addicting. Once you get one, there's just something about them that's absolutely amazing. Let me just shift that a little bit so they don't go falling. All right, I actually have 2 copies of this. This is the higher grade of the 2. This is a book I wanted for the longest time. This is a book that you can probably get under the radar. Now, it's not going to be cheap, but there's no movies right now, and you'll understand when I'm talking about it. But this is definitely a great book to add to your collection if you can get it. This is Justice League of America, issue number 1. Let me see if I move the light, you'll get a better view. So this came back, I got this one graded. It's a 3.0. It is the origin first appearance of Despero. I don't know who that is, so nothing really major other than the fact that it is Justice League of America number 1. Came back a 3.0 off-white pages. This came out in 1960, so even though it has a 10-cent price tag, this is a Silver Age book. Got some tape on it, that's okay. Paid $276.25 for this book. These are books you can get pretty reasonable right now because the Justice League movie, you know, if you like it, that's great, but it was not a financial success, and that means it's going to be less desirable for the investors and speculators. They're going to stay away from it. To me, that's a buying opportunity. So the smart people know that books like that, they're key issues. Those books are not going to stay down forever. So do the opposite of what most people are going to do. They'll stay away from books like that because they're like, oh, the price is going down. That, to me, says that's a good time to buy because books like that will not stay down. Sometimes a movie could make a good thing happen. Remember when I was telling people years ago, after that last Fox Fantastic Four movie came out, that's when I bought my Fantastic Four 48s and 49s. And I bought 2 5.0s for $349 on average a piece. Those books are about $1,100 as of now, and they haven't made any announcements. So when you see prices going down on key books, especially in this time of the, with all the situations that are going on, see it as a buying opportunity. Do not get scared like most. The ones that get scared do not know how to invest and will lose money more than they will ever make money. Whether you like that or not is irrelevant. All right, it's another of this book. So you could see I probably have like 8 or 9, maybe 10 copies of this book. It's another one I got such a decent price on. I think this was the one. No, because I haven't sent that in to get graded yet. But of course, again, Hulk 180. This one came back a 7.5, so this is a higher grade. But when I bought it, I knew it. Again, it benefited from the pressing and dry cleaning. You could see the back beautiful, nice and white. It has off-white to white pages. Again, cameo of Wolverine. Has the Marvel stamp. Paid $365 for this book. It's about average for that as of now, but I'm not worried about as of now. That book is going to continue to go up. I mean, especially once they get an announcement. So every now and then, if you look in the top in the chat, I'm going to be putting my link to the my web store and to sign up for the cashback program. Even if you've already signed up, if you're not interested in any of the comics, if you guys and gals could be so kind as to share the links, it absolutely helps, because, you know, I, like many of you, have been out of work for about almost a month now. All right, here's another book I just got back recently. This is a book I didn't even know existed until I saw somebody else's video. No, it wasn't a video. I actually saw it on eBay. But it does pay to look at eBay and watch other people's videos, because you might see something you didn't know existed. And that's another reason why I like to watch videos like this. And that's what actually got me started back into collecting back in 2015, when I wanted nothing to do with it after I, you know, like most people, got out of the industry in the 90s. From like 96 through 2015, I did not buy one comic, didn't care about the comic industry. And it was watching some comic book videos got me back into the hobby, and now I am here today because of that. All right, so this is a book I would highly recommend. They have confirmed recently Moon Knight is getting his own TV show, and I am so happy they are going to be doing a TV show first, because you and I know who Moon Knight is, but the average person out there who does not collect comics will not know them. So you could not really do this character justice by starting him out in a movie, because most people won't know who he is. So a TV show, and remember, now they're saying that TV shows will be connecting to the MCU, so that, to me, is a way to establish characters, get people to know them, so they can bring them into the movies, hopefully later on, and I would love to see that. So this is not Moon Knight's first appearance. This is his first solo appearance, but here's the thing. This is a 30-cent variant, which is much rarer than the regular counterpart that is at 20 cents, 25 cents. Because they did in some states, they did in some little markets a test to see if they would accept the raising prices. Because you'll notice, like, the books will at one point say still 10 cents, still 12 cents, still 15 cents, still 20 cents, and then another month or two later they raise the price. So if you ever see on your comic books now still for only $3.99, that means they're getting ready to raise the price. But this was a test market, which means they didn't do it everywhere. So this is a very rare book compared to the regular issue. So if you're going to get this book, try and get the one for 30 cents and not the 25 cent. So this came back a 9.0. I got this graded myself. I bought this raw. I got this also with Marvel Spotlight 29, the 30-cent variant. So this one came out to $304 with shipping and handling. Again, this book is going to continue to rise when they start getting back into making the TV shows and start announcing who's going to be playing Moon Knight, and if, of course, it's successful. All right. Here's a Golden Age book. This is a book I bought raw a couple of years ago. Again, I love me some Golden Age books, especially the superhero stuff. I mean, you could get Golden Age mystery comics or love story comics for like $5, $10. I like the early Superman, early Batman, Green Lantern, you know, even Captain America, stuff like that. I have Submariner issue number 2 from the Golden Age. So this is, I love this stuff. Whether it's your cup of tea is, as you know, for you to decide. But this is Batman issue number 28. It's actually funny. Every time I bought a Golden Age book, it didn't have major, like, special things going on most of the time, but they all have Joker appearances. And this is no exception. This one does have a Joker appearance. So they're never on the cover, the ones that I've purchased so far, but every one of them had a Joker story. So I was always happy with that because I love the Joker, and especially Golden Age Joker. This is Batman number 28. This came out in 1945. Off-white to white pages. Love that for this book. And again, here's the back of the book as an old version of the Baby Ruth candy bar. Love the advertisements. Got this pressed and dry cleaned. Came back a 5.0. Only paid $310 for that book. Absolutely love it. Okay, next up, this is one recently. I had a 9.8 version of this book but it was one of the books I had to sell to be able to buy my house here in Florida. So I don't really regret it, and I always knew I would always get another, and that's why I tell people, never get discouraged. There's going to be times where you might have to sell things or trade them, and there might be, seller's remorse or regret. You can always get them back. It's just a matter of time, and it's a matter of your persistence. So never give up on your ability to know that you can achieve whatever it is that you want. So this is a book, like I said, I had a 9.8. Had to sell it to get my house, to get, with a little give, you have to have a little take. So I'm glad somebody else got it and was happy. I made a decent profit off of it, and I ended up finding another raw version, getting it graded recently. Just came back. I think it was the last one that I did, the last bunch. But this is NYX number 3, first appearance of Laura Kinney, a.k.a. Weapon X, daughter of Wolverine, 9.6. So I cannot complain about that. I paid $316.99 for this book. I cannot complain about that. Would I have loved a 9.8? Of course. But I'll be very happy with a 9.6. I hope they bring her back into the MCU, because they did an amazing job with her and Logan. Whether you like it or not, again, your cup of tea. Alright, this is another book that came back recently. I don't know how much I paid for these because I bought them back when they came out, back in the 90s. I had 3 copies. One would have been about a 9.4, but now it's about an 8.5 because I was selling it at when I was in the flea market. Somebody lifted it up and bent the corner, and when you see the cover, you'll understand that it cannot get pressed out. Another one I got graded came back a 9.6, and it looked like I saved the best for last because this is a 9.8 version of Venom Lethal Protector number 1. This is the gold variant. I bought these back in the 90s. I probably paid anywhere from $75 to $90 for this book at the time. The book was a lot more valuable like a year ago. It's going down a little bit, but that's okay. Harvey asks, where's Oregon or Buddy? They're hanging around. It's really hot out here today. It's like in the upper 80s, so they're lounging out. But, again, I don't know what the price is. I would say between $75 and $90 I paid for this book. But very happy, 9.8 white pages. This book, when the next Venom movie comes out, is just going to create more popularity for that book. Absolutely love it. All right, we'll show another just so you can continue to see. This is a CBCS version of this book. This one I bought a couple years ago. I bought it also with my 8.0 Hulk 181, which had the old PGX label, so I sent that one in to get regraded, and it needed a pressing because it was an 8.0 and did not have a pressing. So that's one of the books that I think is either coming on Monday or Wednesday, so make sure you check my video, even if you don't get notification. But this is CBCS's Hulk 180. I paid $400 for this book at the time, 8.0 white pages. At this point, you should know what that is, considering that's the third one you've already seen. All right, another book I will get each and any time I find a deal. I sent this one to get graded. It came back, I think, a month or 2 ago. I have several copies of this. Another book that is going to continue to go up in value. Once you see it, you'll understand why. So please get this book if you can get it. It is a pricey book, but even if you can only afford a 0.5, remember, like I always say, low grade is better than no grade. So we got ourselves Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. I'm sorry, issue number 14. I wish it was number 2. But I said that because it came back at 2.0. I didn't write the price on this, so I'll have to check on that. You know what? I can do that right now because I have my little thing of every month that I sent in, so I can tell you exactly what it is. Give me a second, and I'll find it. Amazing Spider-Man 14. Let's see. Guess it was a while ago. Jeez. All right, there we go. Nope, that's not that one. Okay. Yeah, because this one says 1.5 to 2.0. I paid $413.99. So you know what? I'm going to write that down really quick. So I'm going to take a piece of tape and put it on the back. Here's something, a little tip. If you're going to put tape on the back of your comic, fold in the edges. So this way, if you ever want to take it out, it's a lot easier to do. So I put it on the back where the bag is, not directly on there, on the actual board itself, because you don't want to leave any residue. Let's get a pen that works. Bear with me one second. That's live shows for you. So that's $413.99. Absolutely a great book to get. Of course, this is the first appearance of Green Goblin when he had his magical flying vacuum cleaner. Absolutely a book I highly recommend to get. And as you can see, a 2.0. Not a super high grade, but I don't care. 9.8 would cost you a couple of thousand, probably about 30, 40, 50,000. Just don't happen to have that handy at the moment. All right, another one. This is another Key book I would highly recommend to get. This is a lower grade, but I'll keep saying it. Low grade is better than no grade, and with the price I paid, cannot complain, because this book is only going to continue to go up. This one's a little bit beat up, but it's still pretty desirable, and a book I highly recommend getting. This is Fantastic Four, issue number 3. First appearance of their car, or their plane. The first appearance of their costumes, because issue 1 and 2, they did not have their costumes. And I think it's the first 12-cent issue. That might be issue number 2. But it says, first appearance of the Miracle Man and the Fantastic Car. Fantastic Four dons their quarters and establish headquarters. So, another great book. Now, off-white to white pages. Only a 1.8. But I have it. I mean, you could see on the back, it's got a little piece missing in the back. But, of course, that's to be expected. There's, it actually continues on the front here. Not major, but again, for a 1.8 grade. I only paid $174 for this book. And of course, I sent that into PGX to get graded. So, under $175 for issue number 3. And I bought that like 2 years ago. I'll take it. Alright, next up. This is a book I bought a couple years ago. So when you hear the price, this was already graded. This is another book I highly recommend getting. Fantastic Four number 49. This is the second appearance of Silver Surfer, the first full appearance of Galactus, and the first time they are both on the covers. So that's why this one's pretty desirable, even though it's not their first appearance. But this was a CGC book I bought a couple of years ago when I was telling people to get this book when the movie was bad. 5.0, already graded. Spent $133.59 for this book. That book is going to continue to go up. So again, a lot of times it's by timing. I probably have 10 copies of that book easily. And if I see deals, I will keep getting them. Because remember, when you have multiple copies, you can actually sell them and still have them. Or trade them for something else you might want. My comics are what got me here to Florida and bought this house. I don't have a mortgage. That's why one of the things that helps with this situation, even not having work for over a month. So trust me, if you do comics right, you could have a comfortable life, or at least a consistent one. You know, of course, many people, and there's nothing wrong with buying comics just to read them. Some people buy them just for the artwork. Some people buy them for nostalgic reasons. There's never a wrong answer. But hey, if you can afford to get or take a chance on some books for investments, you could make a good living. My career now is pretty much switched from massage therapist and karaoke DJ to maybe getting into comic book sales. I mean, I was doing that with my flea market, and I'll do it again when it goes back. So trust me, this is something that is worth getting into if you know what you're doing. You got to put in the effort, you got to put the research, you got to put in the time. Got to know what you're investing in. If you just listen to other people without knowing what you're doing, and you don't trust your own instincts, you're going to fail more than you're going to succeed. So be careful who you hook your wet wagon you hook your horse to. It's another book I bought raw. I bought this about 2 years ago. I paid an unbelievable price for this book. Bought this on eBay. It's another one of those buy it nows. Just listed, got it graded. This is another book I highly recommend, especially if you cannot afford the first appearance of this character, and even their second appearance is going pretty high at this point. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 5. This was graded a 5.0 with white pages. Came out in 1963. This is the first Doctor Doom crossover. So just imagine when they bring Doctor Doom out, the first time you see Spider-Man. Let's say, for example, in a Spider-Man movie, they use Doctor Doom. Or maybe Spider-Man guest stars in a Fantastic Four episode. What do you think will happen to this book? Plus the fact, basically with the first 10, well actually almost the first 20 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, with a few exceptions, you cannot go wrong. Like, 10 isn't that significant, 8 isn't that significant, 19 isn't that significant, 18, You know, 7 is the second appearance of Doc Ock, 12 is the third. So, I mean, any of those books, and again, not a super high grade, but I'll take a 5.0 for that book. Paid $179.55 for that book. I'll get that all day, every day. That book has so much potential. You've heard it here. Probably not first. Here's another one. I got a second one. I finally found it. I was searching around for it, but this is a book that just came back, I believe, in my last group that came in. This is a book I was telling people for years to get. I bought this like 3 years ago when I heard the rumors from my sources that most people didn't believe existed, and yet how many times have I been right? You know, people want to mock what they don't understand. That's fine. They have the right to do it. But this is absolutely a book that still has potential, is going to be expensive at this point, even in low grade. But yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is Amazing Spider-Man, annual number... It is 1, yes. Annual number 1, first appearance of the Sinister Six. Now, they've already confirmed there will be a Sinister Six movie coming. Now, I don't think that's going to be right now. If they're smart, and Sony listens to Marvel and Disney, they will build these characters up and not just throw it together. That's why I'm very glad that Sony and Marvel and Disney, of course, are still doing the deal together, because this book has so much more potential if they do it the right way. Establish the characters, build an audience, build, you know, getting to know all the characters, and then throw them together. But this is going to happen. I mean, obviously nothing in life is guaranteed. Anything can change. Remember, they were supposed to originally do the Sinister Six back in the other Amazing Spider-Man movies before they got canceled. But I would say this is a pretty safe bet. 3.0 off-white to white pages. Definitely a book I would recommend. Came out in 1964. I paid $69.88 for that book, because I bought this a couple years ago before any official rumors were confirmed. And that's why I tell people it is worth taking chances on rumors, especially when it is key issue books anyway. Because I knew even if this didn't go through, the first appearance of the Sinister Six and being the first annual of Amazing Spider-Man, it's a key book in itself. So a movie is only going to make it much more invaluable. So you gotta know who you hit. Like I said, you gotta know what wagon you're hitching your horse to. All right, this is another book. I absolutely love this book. It is one of the more rarer books when it comes to this particular comic, and you'll see it. You'll understand when I show you. I couldn't get a 9.8 because that was really expensive. I got this one. They said it was higher than what it ultimately ended up being, and that's why I say never trust a person on eBay with the grading, because I've had some where they'll say, oh yeah, it's a 9.8, and it comes back a 9.0. So be very careful. Make sure you do your own research. But it's hard to see this one because it's all white, but I love it regardless. This is Rick and Morty, number 1. This is the 1 in 50 Justin Roiland variant. This is one of the more rarer. It is not the rarest, but it is definitely a very desirable book. Hard to be in high grade because of the all white. Came back in 9.2. I bought this raw. Does have some stress lines. You know, it's got an all white front and almost an all black back. You know, that's asking for trouble. But I'm very happy with a 9.2. Still paid under what that's worth. And with Rick and Morty continually going for the next couple years, this book is only going to continue to get hotter and hotter. Paid $569.48 for this book. Very happy with it. Can't complain. I have every major number 1 issue of Rick and Morty. Some in duplicates. Speaking of duplicates, I have 3 of these books. This one I bought already graded. Absolutely wanted this book for the longest time. Could not find it. I could not find the deal that I was willing to pay. For years, I was like, for about 2 years, I had this on my must wanted list. Couldn't find the right price. I wouldn't pounce. I wouldn't overspend. And then all of a sudden, after about 2 years, 2.5 years of trying, I finally get one. Then I get 2 more within a 30-day period. So it shows how things can change in an instant. So don't get frustrated. Sometimes you're going to have to wait. Like I said, I waited over 2 years to get this book, trying to find a right deal. So don't just buy the first one you see. Don't overspend. So this book, absolutely love it. Sorry, the camera froze for a second. Cannot believe I own this. Action Comics number 242. This is the first appearance of Brainiac. Absolutely love this beautiful purple cover. The background, it really makes Brainiac stand out. This is a book I bought already graded, so this is a CGC 2.5. Came out in 1958, so that is still Silver Age. Silver Age started in 1956, so early Silver Age creamed off-white pages. This is an expensive book, even in low grade. I paid $841.53 for this book, and that is under what the value is for this book. And if DC and Warner gets their act together, you know, this book could end up becoming very valuable if they ever use Brainiac in a movie. Because I'll tell you, the video game where they use Brainiac as the main villain, absolutely love that storyline. If they could do something like that in the movies and use this character, forget it. The sky's the limit. So again, because they don't have him in a movie, they could. And what do you think is going to happen to the value of that book? So it's good to get it beforehand. And if it isn't, it's still a very popular book, a very valuable book, worth getting. Just don't overspend. All right, this is another book I was trying for years. I actually bought one that was a 6.0, and I paid like $300 for it, and the seller never sent it to me. He said it got lost or made up some excuse. Yeah. When you see what book this is, you'll understand why that book never arrived to me, which I was disappointed in. But again, this is another book I waited patiently. It's a lower grade, but again, low grade is better than no grade. Very happy with this book. Fantastic Four, number 4. Only a 1.5, but you could see I love comics, so I don't care. If I owned a 9.8, absolutely would love it. But at least I own it. And that's why I want to tell people, change your thoughts. Now you can see it's beat up, but again, for a 1.5, you know, that's all tape. It got browned a little bit. There's a couple of pieces of tape all over, but you can see the cover still presents well, so I don't mind the damage if it's along the edges. And again, except for this corner here, everything's intact. It's not ripped to shreds. The colors are not faded. So this book looks really good. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Submariner. Now, there's many a rumor about Submariner in the MCU. Again, nothing is official yet, so you don't know. But what do you think is going to happen if that becomes a reality? I did not write the price on this, but I believe I spent about $350 on this book. Again, it's another book I wrote. You know what? Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. Fantastic Four, number 4. Let's see if it's on here. It might have been on an older page that I don't have anymore. Oh, nope. Alright, so let me get a piece of tape. And again, if you're just tuning in now, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to check the links that I'm providing. Don't forget to wait until the end. And if you're one of my power viewers and you watch this whole thing from beginning to end, don't forget to put that in the comments section. Alright, so thank God I write these all down. So I paid $372 for this book. So even that is less than a 0.5. And that's before any announcements. So this came out in 1962, off-white to white pages, or at least the inside is a lot better than the outside cover. This is a book, again, I've wanted for the longest time. It took me years to get. Better late than never. So don't get discouraged and don't sit there and say, oh, I can't wait. All right, this one has such a great story behind it. Well, not really a major one. This is where you never assume that a person will not accept the deal. Now, if you saw the video I did a couple of days ago about my Hulk 181, and it came with Hulk 180, I made an offer $800 less than what they were asking for, and they accepted it. This book, They were selling for $300, and even at that price, it was a steal. But they had a best offer. So I did an offer for $150, and they accepted it. I got it sent in to be pressed and graded a couple years ago. And here is the book. That is Fantastic Four, issue number 12. This is the first meeting of the Hulk and the Thing, where their battles start. Love this book. So I paid $150. Came back a 4.0, creamed off-white pages. You could see, again, it's not ripped to shreds. Looks pretty good, especially for a 4.0. I mean, there's some dirt on the top and the back you could see. But hey, that's to be expected for a lower grade. But it presents really well. Cannot complain about a 4.0, $150, and that includes shipping. I bought like 6 or 7 books from that person. And this, I believe, is one of them. Yes, this is another one that I bought from that same seller. This is a book, when he started accepting some, really, and he accepted every one without a counteroffer. I was like, all right, this person's either selling something for somebody else, really needs the money, or doesn't know what they're selling. So I made an offer for this one for $80, and it cost me $4 to get it shipped, graded and everything. Again, this is another book I highly recommend. This is like a steal when you hear the price I paid for this, and another book I highly recommend. You notice a trend with my Fantastic Fours. I bought a lot of these after that horrible, horrible Fox movie that pretty much is responsible for MCU and Disney owning the rights back again. But this came back a 3.5. This is Fantastic Four number 6. This is the second appearance of Doctor Doom, and the second Silver Age appearance of Submariner, and the first supervillain team-up. So this is very significant, especially if somebody cannot afford the first Doctor Doom, or of course the first Submariner, is, you know, that's Golden Age. But I paid $84. Where's the price? It's right there. I don't know if you could see it. Paid $84 for this book, shipping and handling. You can't even get a raw 0.5 of that book for that price. Again, I bought it like 2 years ago, but I have many people that have been following me for longer than 2 years. Don't wait. A lot of times you'll regret it. Now, there's times where prices can go down, but you know, if you're going to sit there and say, I'll wait for a dip, what if it goes up $100 and then it dips 20 and you focus on that $20 dip? You could say, oh yeah, it just went down $20, but yes, it went down 20, but it originally went up 100. You're now spending $80 more than you could have if you bought it years ago. So you can't always think about the short-term gains and losses. Focus on the long-term game. That's what investors do. All right, so this is a book. I'm lucky enough to have 2 copies of this. This is the higher of the 2. When you see the grade, you'll be like, oh, this is the highest. But it's another book that, for the price I paid for it, I cannot complain. This is a first appearance of a major character. There's going to be a second movie coming soon. Absolutely love this. Always wanted it. And I'll take low grade. This is Strange Tales number 110. You can see there's some damage there, but when you see the grade, you'll understand. That's the first appearance of Doctor Doom. I wish it was. No, Doctor Strange. Wong. Nightmare, who has been rumored to be the villain in Doctor Strange 2. And the Ancient One. Also, the first Paste Pot Pete and Wizard team-up. So it's not their first appearance, but their first team-up. The cover is loose. It's off-white to white pages. It's a 1.8. So again, like I said, it's the higher of my 2. But hey, I paid $556.94. Somebody at one point decided they're going to do their algebra on the back of this comic. So there's a big thing from here to here in pen, somebody doing some large mathematical equation, and then somebody traced in the word tails with pen. Glad they didn't color it in with a marker, because then that would have been considered restored. So you could trace something with a pen, but if you do it with a marker, it's considered restored. Go figure. So for that price, $556.94 for the first appearance of Doctor Strange, Nightmare, you know, Wong, the Ancient One, even at a 1.8, very happy with that. Looking forward to Doctor Strange number 2. All right, so thank you so much. I still got plenty of more comics in here. There's probably 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more books. So if you've been here from beginning to end, make yourself known. And if you like these, I got plenty of other boxes of comics. I can do this again. So you guys let me know with your thumbs up and your comments. If this is too long and it's not good for you, hey, you know, I understand. But I figured a lot of people said they want longer videos now because, you know, they're not really doing much. And right now in Florida, they're opening the beaches, but there's no way in Hades I'm going to any beach right now. When they open the pool, I'll make sure I go there early in the morning, but they haven't done that yet. All right, next up, another book that I've been telling people to get for years. This is a book that was expensive even before there were any confirmation, but there are confirmations at this point. Again, getting the TV show, and you'll see what I'm talking about because I showed the first comic book solo appearance. Now I'm going to show you the first appearance, which of course is Werewolf by Night 32. I think I have 2 or 3 copies of this book. I know I sold 1 or 2, and in some of the Marvel mystery packages, I know I gave 1 or 2 away. So if you check the link to my comic books for sale, I have Marvel, I keep saying Marvel mystery boxes because most people want Marvel, but I have comic book mystery boxes that go anywhere up to $5,000. And if you get a $5,000 one, you're going to get key issue books, maybe even something like this. But this, of course, is the first appearance of Moon Knight. He is getting his own TV show. So excited to get this. Bought this raw. Came back a 3.5 with off-white to white pages. Only paid $209 for this book. That's why I always tell people, if you can, buy your books raw. Because a lot of times you can get them pressed and dry cleaned, and they can end up being worth a lot more than what you ended up paying for it. So absolutely love it. All right, so I showed this book. I got another version. This was one I bought raw. Again, it took me 2 or 3 years to get one book, and then all of a sudden I got 2 more within a 1-month period. So again, this is Action Comics 242, First Brainiac. This came back a 2.5 because this book was one that I had to send in to get graded. This is off-white pages, page 669. So see what I mean? The other book was a 2.5, but I paid almost $900. So buying them raw, you could save yourself a lot of money that way. So that's not always guaranteed. But again, if you know what you're doing and you know the value of books and you know how to work deals and make deals, you can end up paying less than more. And even if you're buying them just to read them, wouldn't that be nice? It's another book I bought a couple of years ago. It's a book you can't even get at 0.5 anymore, but again, deals are out there. Don't be afraid to take the chance. This is a book I highly recommend and is only going to continue to go up. Of course, this is one of my many copies. I probably have 5 or 6 copies of Fantastic Four 48. Again, somebody that bought one of my Marvel $5,000 packages. This was one of, not this book obviously, but one of my Fantastic Four 48s was in that mystery package. So there are some good books in the higher end. You're not going to get this in the basic package, trust me. But in the more expensive ones, you're going to get books like this. But of course, this is the first appearance of Galactus in a cameo. First full appearance of Silver Surfer. Well, first appearance of Silver Surfer, because his first appearance was a full appearance. Bought this raw, 4.5. Paid $153 for this book. Off-white pages. This is about a $1,000 book at this point, and that is before any official announcements. Eric asked what's for sale. If you click on the links that I've provided, and I'll post it right here for you, you could see some of the comics I have in there. You just scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll see some pyramids and stuff. You know, you'll see I make these and sell these as well. So if you see that, you're not on the wrong site. You just scroll to the bottom. And also a video I did about 2 weeks ago. I did a video of some comics that I'm selling that are not on that site. You can contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com if you see any of the ones there that you like and you want to buy. 2 of the books have been sold, and it's helping me considering I have been out of work for about a month now. All right, next up, absolutely love this book. I had another one that was a 1.8, but it was one of my books I had to sell to get here to Florida. The only reason I sold that one is because I had a second copy. And that's why I tell people it pays to have multiple copies, because sometimes life gets in the way and you might have to sell something you love. Well, if you have more than one of them, you can actually, it makes it a lot easier to have to get rid of one or trade them. Absolutely love this book for the price I paid. Cannot complain. Again, you can't even get a 0.5 for this. Not in the best condition, but for the grade, I'm very happy with it. This is Amazing Spider-Man #2, first appearance of the Vulture. I love what they did with the Vulture in the MCU. They actually made him look cool. Because I remember they were talking about the fact of putting the Vulture in. If you basically see, what is the Vulture? A really old man with a flying suit. I was like, that's going to look ridiculous in the movies. But they made him cool. They made him intimidating. They made him scary. That's a great job. And that's why I give so much credit to the MCU and Disney. Because they definitely know what they're doing. Absolutely love this book. So this is the first appearance of the Vulture and the Terrible Tinkerer. He's the guy that was in the background making all the stuff for the Vulture. This came out in 1963. Off-white to white pages. Bought this raw. Got it pressed and dry cleaned. Again, only came back at 1.5. But I paid $335 for this book. Good luck getting a coverless for that price. Again, with or without a movie, this is a great book to own. And very happy, even with a 1.5. Low grade is better than no grade. This is another book. This was actually came out of a bound volume. Somebody took a bunch of comics, removed the staples, put them in a binder. So it was like reading one whole story. I think it was the first 20 issues. So the book was trimmed a little bit to fit in the volume, and it was all one big story from issue 1 to issue 20. So it doesn't have the staples in it. I'm perfectly fine with that. So it says the spine was trimmed and the staples were removed. But I am not going to complain. This is another Golden Age book. This is Batman issue number 9. I had Batman issue number 5, but I actually sold that at my flea market. Somebody bought it. And because I did a payment plan, they paid for it in about 2 months. So when I get back to the flea market, if you're in the Florida area, and you can see the Booth N50 scrolling across, I do payment plans. I don't charge interest. I don't charge anything extra. I hold the book until you make the payments. Once the payments are done, the book is yours. So he's currently buying my Batman 100 7.0 double cover. He talked me down to $2,400, and he's paying about $100 to $150 a week until it's paid off. But I paid $564.91 for Batman number 9. I don't care about the staples. I mean, when it's graded, who cares? And you can see it's got, because it was torn out of this bound volume, there's damage along the edge. I'd rather the damage be along the edge than on the front cover or the back cover. So you could see it looks really good. So I love, there's nothing majorly significant about issue number 9 other than the fact that it's issue number 9 of Batman. Now, this came out in 1942. Art by Bob Kane, the original quote-unquote co-creator of Batman. Whether he really was or not, you might want to do some research on that, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, next book. We got 4 more left, and thank you for everybody that stuck around. Hopefully you really enjoyed this video. It's already been an hour long. So this is another book I got. Again, I showed multiple copies of. Let's just show it. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 14, first appearance of the Green Goblin. Bought this raw, came back a 3.0 off-white to white pages. Paid $417 for this book. Again, has so much potential because of the fact that Green Goblin's going to be coming unless something changes. All right, this is I don't have the original bag for this one, so I don't know what the price is. It fell off at some point, so I won't know. You know, let me see if I can look up what this book is. Give me a second. Okay. Yes. Okay. So this one, and I'll put it in a new bag and board, a new cover for this. I was saying, no, that's not it. I'm sorry, because that's the one that's coming back. All right, here it is. You just double check and make sure there aren't any others, because I have several copies of this book, and it's another book I highly recommend. Okay, so it's this one, because I said it was about a 5.0 to a 5.5, and it came back a 6.0. Definitely a book I highly recommend. Another book that is going to continue to go up and up and up and up, because we know the X-Men are coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Giant Size X-Men number 1 first appearance of Storm, Colossus, Thunderbird, Nightcrawler, second full appearance of Wolverine. Must have, in my opinion, even in a low grade. This is a thicker book, so a lot of times this book gets crushed. You know it's crushed when you could see this. It's probably not going to be able to be seen, but there's words on the edge. If you can see them from the front, that means it got flattened. Pressings can help these. Again, I got this pressed and dry cleaned. I paid, where is it? $361 for this book. You can't even get a 0.5 for that anymore. Another book I bought a couple years ago and I was telling people to get them. Alright, last but not least, these are both the same book, so I will just show them together. I bought these both raw. Actually, you know what? Let me show the story about this one first, and then you'll obviously know what the second one is. This book, and this is why it pays to know about grading and do your research. I bought this book in January of last year. It was one of the first key issues I bought of 2019. It was a CGC graded book, 0.5. When I saw the images, I said there is no way this is a 0.5. Now, it's a little faded, but I've seen a 3.0 from CGC that was even more faded than this. Actually, a 3.5. And as a matter of fact, it's on sale at eBay right now. So if you type in what this comic is, and I'll show you in a second, and you type in CGC 3.5, you'll see one that's even as faded, if not more faded than this. So I showed people this comic before I showed who graded it and what the grade was. I showed the front and the back of the book. I said, you tell me what you think this grade is. Not one person said a 0.5. When I revealed it was a 0.5, everybody said there is no way this is a 0.5. Now, obviously, it's not a 9.8. Sent this in to PGX. Got them to press it, dry clean it, and it came back to what I thought the grade would be. And that is a 1.8. And that is Daredevil number 1. So as you can see, I have a second one at a 2.0. So it's got piece missing here, but it's not 3/4 of the book or half the book or the whole page. You'd have to have the whole page missing or half of the front cover to get a 0.5. So it wasn't that. Yes, look at the color difference. Here's the 2.0. Here's the 1.8. See the difference in color? That has nothing to do with a 0.5. You can have the cover faded. Like I said, type in Daredevil number 1 3.5 CGC on eBay right now, and you will see that there is one that is as faded as this one, if not more faded. But I paid under a 0.5 for this book, so it was worth taking the chance on. And because I did the research, it benefited me, because I only paid $414 for this book, which is less than a 0.5, and it came back now a 1.8. This book I paid $462.55 for, and came back a 2.0. Only major problem is where the Daredevil's supposed to be was cut out. So those are all the books in just one of my boxes. Like I said, I probably have at least 8 to 10 more. So if you ever want to see these videos and see more of them, just let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to check my links. And Mr. Comic says, Chris, staying healthy? Absolutely am. So thank you for asking about that. I can't wait until everything opens up again and get back to work and actually go swimming. Being cooped up for this long, as I'm sure most people can attest, has not been exactly exciting. But maybe that shows that you can make lemonade out of lemons situations like this. So some of you may have watched this whole thing from beginning to end and actually enjoyed it. So if you did, your thumbs up will help me see that you appreciate this. If you want more of these, I can do this several times. And like I said, the ones I showed are not even my top books. So if you want to see those, I could do that, or just another one of the other ones and see what else I have in my collection. I'll be more than happy to do it. So let me do today's surprise subscriber shout out. We're going to go back a little bit ways and see who has been commenting and see if they're still here. Now, if you're a power viewer, you're watching from beginning to end. Now, obviously, I can't say that that's fair if it's a live show and you only knew it was here halfway through, but you can always watch it again from the beginning if you are a true power viewer. So we're going to do today's surprise subscriber shout out is Have No Fear Comics. He's in the UK and loves his Silver Age books. So that is today's surprise subscriber shout out. Please share the links and everything. It really helps my channel. Join the cashback program if you haven't. That link is also in there. Don't forget, if you're checking out my comics for sale, I also have mystery boxes. I haven't sold one of those in a while, but there are a couple of people that did some reviews of those that they got, and everybody was pretty happy. So obviously I can't please everybody, but I do the best that I can. So if you buy like a $5,000 mystery box, you know, you're not going to get Raggedy Ann and Andy number 14. You know, I'm sorry for those who really want that, but, you know, you're going to get some good stuff. So that's my video, and I'm sticking to it. Don't forget, tomorrow, I don't know the exact time. It depends on when FedEx gets here. I'll put the video for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. It may change earlier or later, depending on the mail. So I got 4 of my comics that have been graded coming back tomorrow. And my second set, my most recent one, is coming back on Wednesday. So there's going to be 2 of them this week. And I'll have my next 4 books being sent out soon. I cannot wait to send those out. So those are the books. This is the video. It's been a long one. Hopefully you appreciated it. Thank you so much for everybody that took the time, even for 1 second, to listen. Thank you to all that participated in the live chat. It means a lot to me. Please leave the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video before you leave. It helps my channel, and trust me, these days we can all use the help we can get, sharing it, favoring it, and all that other stuff. Harvey says, Chris, why no address in Florida yet? I'm not sure what you mean. Am I saying, why am I not telling my address? If I have to explain that, why I'm not giving out my personal home address out on the internet, you know, I don't know what to tell you. So thanks for listening, guys. Say hello to everybody in the chat. You can continue the chat going. And do not forget, it is not you, it is not I, it's We Love Comics. You guys all have a great day. Happy collecting. Ask for deals, wait for deals, and you'll do fine. And watch videos like mine. Enjoy your day, everybody.